Tinder profile pic right there.
Oh, there you go.
It's going to be a really small demographic who's going to be attracted to you, but it's going to be crazy.
Okay.
Thank you for laughing for no apparent reason. I appreciate it.
Don't take it personally.
You called out to somebody that you saw earlier, and you're like, you should get up there and do comedy. Like, I think that's how a lot of the greats really started, peer pressure. I want to tell you guys about the first time that I ever went on the internet. I know some of you guys all grew up with the internet being this overwhelming presence from time immemorial, but it actually had a beginning point in my life. When I was 13 years old, and let me just preface this by saying, as a 13-year-old boy, you're kind of an idiot, and I was just a real super duper idiot. Just as an example of how stupid I was, I remember the first time that I ever had contact lenses. I was very nerdy, and so getting glasses off and getting contacts on, this was supposed to be like a really big coup for me. Like I was like the girl in the 80s movie, like just tossing her glasses to the side and throwing her hair back, and finally showing the world how beautiful and amazing she was. So that was the vision that was in my head. But anyway, the first morning that I had contacts, I put them in, and I ran out of time to pick out my clothes, which was already a disaster because I was choosing from terrible things. And I remember I just grabbed the first things that were in the dirty clothes laundry pile. So it was like this crumpled up green turtleneck that I threw on, and I thought it would go well with some saucy two-tone sports shorts. And I remember on the way out, my dad, who's like no fashion plate himself, by the way, he turns to my mom like, should we let him out of the house now? So anyway, first time I was on the internet, very dumb boy. That's what I'm prefacing this with. And I'm going to give you one more example of how dumb I was after I tell this story. But, so me and my friend Jake, who, a lifelong friend, really good friends with him, we go online, we go into something called a chat room. We're like, ooh, this is exciting. We're talking to a bunch of strangers on a screen. You just type in what you want to say, and people react to it. This is amazing. It's just like having a conversation. And the first thing that you would say is your age, your gender, and I don't know, like your handle or something like that. And so we're like, two 13-year-old boys, Jake and Josh. And we make our entrance on the scene for this chat room. And just immediately this pedophile dude is like saying overtly terrible things to us, like, oh, hey, you guys want to meet up? Like some, middle-aged pedophile dude. And we got like super offended, which, we're like, this internet thing is terrible. What is going on here? And my friend Jake's like, you better not try to meet up with us. We'll punch your dick or something. And it's something stupid like that, A 13-year-old boy, he might have been into it. But then he gets offended. He's like, oh, well, I'm gonna call the internet police on you guys. We're like, oh shit, the internet police. We're like, what does that mean? That's probably like a SWAT team is descending on our mobile home at any moment here. We outsmarted him though, because we shut off the computer, and we ran outside and we hid in the barn for the next 30 minutes while we waited for the SWAT team to come in. Nothing happened. So that was the first time I was ever on the internet. Total disaster. Again, because I was an idiotic child. One more example of how dumb I was back then. You know what? I'm going to skip over that. Never mind. I just want to say this about. I want to say one last thing, and then I'm going to leave you be. But I love Taco Bell. Anybody really love Taco Bell?
Woo!
Yeah. You're such a liar. You're lying right now. Do you really love it?
I actually like it, yeah.
Dude, okay. That's unfair to me. I called that up out of thin air. You responded to it, and then I shot you down. That was a dick move. I apologize. No, but the reason that I love Taco Bell, which I assume is you just like tasty food for cheap, but for me, it's the queso. Yeah. For me, it creates this internal self-loathing, which is fine. It is what it is. But then it quickly follows it up with my deserved punishment. So it's sort of the 50 Shades of Grey of 99-cent burritos, right? So okay, you guys have been great. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.